Hello and welcome to VNA News Daily Bulletin. Coming up next, we have your top stories. National Assembly election takes place nationwide. US President Barack Obama departs for a 3-day visit to Vietnam. Kiên Giang Province marine economy enjoys high growth. The election of deputies to the 14th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels took place nationwide on May 22nd. The 14th general election has the largest ever scale with more than 69 million voters who elect 500 deputies to the 14th legislature and 322,966 to people's councils at all levels for the 2016 to 2021 tenure. The election provides an opportunity for the people to exercise their citizen rights and duties, as well as strengthen the law-governed socialist state of the people, by the people, for the people. It reflects the people's strong will, aspirations, and right to mastery in building the state and representative organs from the grassroots to the central level. This is my second time voting. I hope that the elected members will help our people and our women in particular to prosper in the future. I feel incredibly happy. This is my first time voting. I feel very honored and a sense of responsibility to come out and vote for the candidates so that they can contribute to the development of our nation. As a voter, I am honored to cast my ballot to select future members of the National Assembly and People's Council. Today, even my 92-year-old mother is happy to vote for the candidates. Party, state, National Assembly and government leaders joined voters nationwide in exercising their citizen right and duty to elect deputies to the legislature and all-level people's councils. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng was one of the first voters at the polling station number 3 in Nguyễn Du Ward, Hai Bà Trưng District, Hanoi, to cast his ballot at 7 a.m. The party leader told reporters after the voting that he and voters nationwide hope the elected deputies will devote themselves to the people and the nation and fulfill their responsibilities and obligations prescribed in the Constitution. He stressed the need for the legislature and people's councils to outstandingly perform their functions as people-elected agencies stipulated in the Constitution and the law. The National Assembly must fulfill its responsibilities as the top legislative body, the highest representative organ of the people and the supreme state power body, performing its functions of lawmaking, supervision, and deciding on the country's major issues. Meanwhile, at the polling station number 8 in Nhân Chính Ward of Hanoi's Thanh Xuân District, President Trần Đại Quang cast his ballot at 7 a.m. Expressing his happiness and honor to exercise a citizen's right and duty, the state leader said this election is significant to building, consolidating, and perfecting a socialist rule of law state of the people, by the people, and for the people, meeting requirements of the nation's industrialization, modernization, and international integration. I hope that voters nationwide will select the most competent and virtuous deputies who can represent their will, aspirations, and right to mastery. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and his spouse joined voters at the polling station number 8, Vĩnh Bảo Town, Vĩnh Bảo District, the northern port city of Hải Phòng, during the election. He said this is the country's most important political event when citizens exercise their right and duty.
Bầu cử Quốc hội.
Voting to elect members of the National Assembly and the People's Councils at all levels is the biggest duty and democratic right of the people of Vietnam. I urge all relevant agencies to do their utmost and ensure the success of the election.
Đi bỏ phiếu.
He also said he wished that the election will contribute to perfecting the state apparatus in order to successfully actualize the resolution of the 12th National Party Congress from the central to grassroots levels. National Assembly Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân was also among the first voters to cast her ballot at the polling station number 4 in Vĩnh Phúc Ward, Ba Đình District, Hanoi. National Assembly Chairwoman and Chairperson of the National Election Council Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân inspected election organizing work at several polling stations in Hanoi after casting her ballots early the same day. People exercise their right to democracy and fulfill their citizen obligations to the state and society soundly. May 22nd is really a big festival. On the same day, President of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee Nguyễn Thiện Nhân has inspected several polling stations in Ho Chi Minh City. Nhân, who is also Vice Chairman of the National Election Committee, asked constituencies to continue providing all possible support for voters and fulfill assigned tasks during the day. Nhân said Ho Chi Minh City is one of the few localities that initiated disseminating candidates' profiles and action programs to the public. I believe that Ho Chi Minh City's rate of voting will be high, contributing to the common success of the nation during the election, helping select people who will lead the nation, the city, districts, and communes in the future. In the same day's morning, Nhân paid a courtesy call to Archbishop of the Ho Chi Minh City Archdiocese Paulo Bùi Văn Đọc after Đọc exercised a citizen's rights and duty. Nhân thanked Đọc, who is also chairman of the Episcopal Council of the Catholic Church of Vietnam, for his response to the country's important political event, casting ballots early in the morning and calling on Catholics in the city in particular and nationwide in general to exercise citizens' rights and duty, contributing to building a peaceful and wealthy country. Major news agencies around the world covered the general election in Vietnam, saying this important political event reflects the country's democracy. According to China's Xinhua news agency, over 69 million Vietnamese voters nationwide are casting their votes to elect deputies to the National Assembly and members of all-level People's Councils. It said the election started at 7 a.m. at 91,476 constituencies across the country on May 22nd. Among the figure, 339 candidates are female, accounting for 38.97%, while 204 candidates are from ethnic minorities, making up 23.45%. The UK-based news agency Reuters also reported that some 69 million Vietnamese are registered to vote to choose representatives for a 500-seat National Assembly. It quoted Nguyễn Hạnh Phúc, National Assembly Secretary General and Chief of the National Election Council's office, as saying that all 870 candidates would be treated equally, including those who are not party members and had nominated themselves to run as independents. He affirmed that all Vietnamese people have right and responsibility to vote and build the country. The Voice of America and France AFP news agency also highlighted Vietnam's general election as a big festival of the Vietnamese people from all walks of life. May 22nd is really a big festival. The results of the election will be announced within 20 days after Election Day. Moving on to other news, U.S. President Barack Obama has departed for a week-long tour of Asia as part of his efforts to boost economic and security cooperation with the region. Obama is the third consecutive U.S. president to visit Vietnam, following Bill Clinton in 2000 and George W. Bush in 2006. The leader will spend 3 days in Vietnam, with stops in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. President Obama will hold official meetings with Vietnamese leaders to discuss ways for the Vietnam-U.S. comprehensive partnership to advance cooperation across a wide range of areas, including economy, people-to-people, security, human rights, and global and regional issues. In Hanoi, the president will deliver a speech on the bilateral relations. During meetings and events in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, he will discuss the importance of approving the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement this year. From Vietnam, he will head to Japan for a summit of the Group of 7 industrialized nations in Ise-Shima and a historic visit to Hiroshima City. A number of U.S. newspapers have published articles highlighting the warming relationship between the U.S. and Vietnam on the threshold of the U.S. president's visit to Vietnam. The Wall Street Journal noted that President Barack Obama will spend 3 days in Vietnam, an unusually long presidential visit for a single country. That is intended to show the U.S. interest in expanding ties with the Southeast Asian countries, it said. The article also quoted Jack London, a professor at City University of Hong Kong, China, as saying that the president's visit is the latest step in decades-long courtship between the former adversaries. The Los Angeles said, for nearly 80 years, President Obama has struggled to end wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. He will finally succeed in closing chapters on 2 other ones instead, Vietnam and World War II. The president's visit to Vietnam and Japan sends a message that it needs efforts and time to reach the real peace. Meanwhile, the CNN has published an article saying that in his first presidential visit to Vietnam, President Obama will encounter a country undergoing rapid change and seeking ever closer ties to the U.S. Vietnam has a broader role to play in the Pentagon's recent embrace of networked security in Asia, it said. President Obama's visit represents the chance to begin writing that new chapter, according to the paper. The marine economy in the Mekong Delta province of Kiên Giang has developed rapidly over the past 5 years, thanks to an investment sum of $5 billion from the local administration. According to the Provincial People's Committee, funds earmarked for marine infrastructure and national defense account for 80% of the province's total investment budget. The marine economy has developed well, with an annual average growth rate of 11%, contributing 73% to Kiên Giang's GDP. Fishing, aquaculture, marine services, seafood processing, and marine tourism have made strong progress in the past 5 years. The funds have been used to build and upgrade seaports, airports, and transport systems of Phu Quoc Island and surrounding islands, including Lại Sơn, An Sơn, Thổ Châu, and the sheltering area for boats in Kiên Hải district. With better infrastructure, the province has been able to attract strategic investors to Phu Quoc Island. Between 2016 and 2020, the province will continue to invest further in socio-economic infrastructure, making Kiên Giang one of the most developed provinces in the country. Marine tourism development is a priority in Kiên Giang, with the aim of turning Phu Quoc Island into an advanced eco-tourism area for the region and the world. And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.